So I might start with the person's head, give him like a little weird arm, and when I'm making the little figures, little shapes, I try and leave a white border, so it really depends the direction that I tear the paper in, gives it a border or doesn't give it a border. And it's kind of a little bit difficult, but you get used to it. You know, they're not exactly complete people, they're like creature people, they're kind of like a kind of merged species in a way, because this is the future. And we're not really sure what happened with radiation and stem cell research. I kind of make people with weird skin. I'm imagining that they are malnourished, so they're going to be kind of slim, weird shaped. In the future, without this physical environment, what are we going to rely on? How are we going to, live? How are we going to relax and be when this has completely changed? It's going to have to be stories of what else we were, what else we used to do, how we related to one another. I mean, it will include our spiritual practices. I mean, even carnival as a spiritual practice that really did unite us at one point. Later in life, I was exposed to some Indian philosophy and Hinduism as a religion, as the oldest religion on earth. It's a combination of science and spirituality. I've been giving them hats, like I give them turbans, I guess, because I'm trying to keep like some little aspects of our culture, our various cultures, like in different Indian cultures, different African cultures, we have turbans and headscarves, and I just felt like that was something I wanted to keep in the future. It's just so random. I love when that happens. If I'm ripping paper and there's words on the back and there's a message, sometimes I include it. In the Stilt Walker piece, I was randomly ripping something for him to carry, like a box, and then there were some words on the paper and it said the suffering of the other, which I thought was great, and I just left it and I just included it. There's going to be a lot of flooding, there's going to be desert areas, fires, so how will we get around? I thought about moko jumbis and, how we just use them for fun, for carnival, but in the future, what if stilt walking is going to be a practical way to get around, because the ground is so toxic, you can't be close to it, so you'll have to be walking on stilts. When I was reading Naipaul's A Writer's People, I came across a section where he's questioning what makes Caribbean people Caribbean people. What is at the heart of our culture and our identity. And he mentions the physical environment, our physical environment, as something that grounds us and that is something we all have in common and something that we all participate in. Like it's plays a major role in who we are as people. We don't have a vast, deep history of civilization together as a people, you know, because we all came from different areas of the world. These clouds are some kind of chemical, some kind of toxic chemical clouds, so I'm just romanticizing them with the colors I'm using, but it's actually quite tragic because the air is really not breathable, and I mean, these creatures probably won't survive long. Things have been poisoned and they just aren't going to be the same colors that we recognize and in nature. I don't want to say it's a bleak outlook exactly, but it's a realistic outlook. If climate change does become the final leveler, or even nuclear war, which it might end up being, it's the consequence that we deserve. Yeah, so I would definitely want to paint probably from here to here. When I think about Caribbean futurism, you know, what of us can we use in the future to help us to survive? And it's not going to be anything related to our physical environment because that's going to be gone. The show is called The Traces That Ending Worlds Leave Behind. So what was left behind and what can we take from the past, or what will remain with us in the future from the past that will help us to survive or move on. There's just going to be our memories and our stories, and these are the things that are going to have to keep us going.